Hello, my name is Dr. Terry Anderson. I'll be your host for this webinar, and we'll be getting started very soon. Before we do get started, I'd like to give you a short summary on our topic and then make sure that we're ready to record this event for future replays. Also, I wanted to mention that although we're not going to be using a live chat box, we will have a live question box. We learned that for a presentation that's going to be later available for replay, that the chat box becomes a distraction. So during the course of the presentation and even during the course of the replay, we will be offering a live question box. So it makes no difference from an interactivity standpoint whether you're seeing this as a live presentation or as a replay. Our topic concerns the use of customized mini or micro webinars by businesses as a branding and marketing tool to grow their businesses. There is so much noise in the general environment today that most consumers never hear, don't ever want to hear, and deliberately shut out most marketing messages. So how is it that businesses can overcome the defenses set up by the average consumer to present their message? How can a business establish itself as the go-to authority in their marketplace and to be top of mind when it comes time for consumers to decide with whom they're going to do business? How should a businessman break into this fortress of overload to present his product or service with just the right amount of information in the most acceptable and digestible manner to make it convenient for the consumer to open up? We believe that so-called evergreen webinars, pre-recorded webinars, are the best way to promote a business. A webinar communicates that you're a class act willing to go the extra mile to accommodate the public and to get an important message out to them in a timely manner. It conveys the feeling of a personalized invitation in a fancy envelope, which treats the receiver with a level of respect and esteem that, frankly, they're not used to receiving these days. A webinar inherently provides the social proof of a social media platform that is essential for today's Google-possessed public. It's like receiving a handwritten letter in today's impersonal age. The webinar is a fresh, unique approach that they're not used to seeing every day and to which they will turn their attention, ultimately creating favor and goodwill. A webinar will cause consumers to give your company just the kind of focus needed that yields increased daily and monthly sales. A webinar is a professional and respectful manner of gathering new customers and retaining your existing clientele. Our purpose today is to focus your attention on the use of webinars, not just as another arrow in your quiver, as a vital and essential tool that creates and establishes the authority of your business in your marketplace. We ask for your full attention during this short presentation, and we encourage you to ask questions you might have through the question box. We will make every effort to respond to your questions contemporaneously as the webinar is playing. So let me check on the status of the system to record this session. And by the way, in addition to a live question box, we'll be posting our phone number on a note just above the chat box in the upper right-hand corner. This will allow you to talk with us live, during, or after any presentation. Okay, my guru tells me that we're ready to roll, so let's start. I think one of the first questions I as a businessman should ask myself is, how do I create and establish myself and my company as authoritarian entities in my local marketplace? Well, let's open that up. There is a difference between the creation of authority and the establishment of that authority. The creation of authority, if it's not organically created as a result of time, experiences, or significantly preponderant events, must entail the utilization of a presentation medium that is equal to or even more significant than perhaps the authority itself. In other words, how you demonstrate the authority for a product, service, or person should take into consideration the manner in which you present authority. Your means of presentation is vital to the credence of that authority, the impact and strength of that authority, and the longevity of that authority. Once authority has credence, impact, strength, and longevity, it will have established itself. But you must first establish these four foundational linchpins. Of course, the assemblage of facts, details, and brand marketing materials is the backbone of creating an authority presence. But once the backbone has been fleshed out, the how you present this authority becomes essentially important. And that's where we can make you an offer that we feel is very exciting. That solution is a customized presentation of your company, your product, or your service in a pre-recorded evergreen webinar that will be available to prospective customers, clients, and patients in an on-demand format. Let's start with a discussion of pre-recorded. That refers to the fact that we not only are going into painstaking detail with you in assembling the elements of your marketing and branding elements, but we also are going to take away the risk of a poor performance that usually occurs with a live presenter or the technical hiccups that abound with live webinars. Instead, we think it prudent to not only build your presentation in exquisite detail, but to pre-record it and showcase you in the best possible manner without these poor presentations and hiccups. We accomplish this definitively with a pre-recorded webinar. And by the way, just so you know, our webinars are not perceived as pre-recorded, but even if they are, the viewing audience easily dispenses with that fact because the webinar is so professionally done. Now let's talk about evergreen. Evergreen refers to the fact that once your marketing or branding concept have been carefully assembled and crafted to demonstrate your company, product, or service in its very best light, your webinar will be ready to play at any time without your having to tinker with it. You can, of course, modify it to any degree and at any time you might desire, but otherwise all the component parts from attendance confirmations and reminders to replay notifications are all set up in a real-time execution mode. And just as a mention here, you do not have to attend to any of the technical issues related to setting up or managing the webinar. This is part of our service to you. So let's talk a little bit about on-demand. On-demand refers to the fact that we can set up with almost unparalleled diversity a webinar reviewing schedule. As a matter of your convenience, we can create schedules that are on an hourly, daily, weekly, or even calendar basis. So when a prospective new customer registers to watch your webinar, they can choose from multiple time slots of when they would like to see the presentation. And if something should come up in their schedule that would prevent them from viewing at the originally scheduled time, they can change their viewing time. There is a great deal of viewer-friendly flexibility built into our system. In fact, flexibility is only the beginning of how we do almost everything to accommodate your prospective new customers. We believe that once the elements of the webinar are carefully assembled and readied for presentation, that by virtue of the webinar medium itself, your company, product, or service will gain almost instant authority in the eyes of your viewers. The reason for that is very simple. So few business entities, if any, in your business category locally will have the opportunity to utilize customized webinars that you will enjoy the prestige and therefore the authority that comes with webinar marketing. They'll be envious of your ability to make hundreds of quality presentations to thousands of prospects on a non-stop basis throughout any given day. Your business will become a household name and your competitors will know it. But more important than your competitors' envy is the fact that you'll have the capacity from a time-leveraged standpoint to create an overwhelming impression that you are the go-to problem-solving resource in your area for your products and services. You can and will be seen by everybody, and that will result in an authority that has credence, impact, strength, and longevity. No other affordable marketing system can give you the kind of market-overwhelming presence that is possible with evergreen webinars. You will enjoy a top-of-mind relationship with people in your area for your business category that is unprecedented. The second question that I, as a businessman, should ask is, how do I get the attention of prospective buyers or new clients? Well, people in the world are now simply too busy, and it's getting harder and harder to get their attention. So you've got to find a way to do something that will get the attention of prospects so that they'll give you the time of day. You've got to do something that is out of the ordinary in the first place, simply to get their attention. And then you have to do something even more out of the ordinary to keep that attention. It's almost like you've got to perform some kind of celebrity tactic, like big-time entertainers and world-class athletes, simply to have them transition their eyes away from whatever it is they're doing. After all, what's so special about you, your product, and your company that would merit them to stop watching Dr. Oz, Monday Night NFL, The Empire, Game of Thrones, or The Walking Dead? And heaven forbid that you take them away from a marathon binge-watching session of Breaking Bad, Criminal Minds, or Pablo Escobar. And if they're not watching something or not totally distracted by whatever is going on otherwise with their digital devices, how do you deal with the fact that most people have jobs that take up most of their time, energy, and attention during a day or night? People do have some serious stuff going on in their lives, and they simply cannot ignore those responsibilities. They can't take their attention away from these things. These are legitimate excuses for shutting out all of the extraneous noise of marketing and advertising messages. Furthermore, when people are not in work, they have what little time remains taken away from them. Why is that? They have kids. Kids put demands on parents. Not just homework, not just sports. Sometimes the kids are sick and they need to go to the doctor. Sometimes kids live in broken homes and need to be ferried between one parent and another. Sometimes kids have social, legal, or psychological problems. Oftentimes, from 5 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning the next day, people are completely overrun with responsibilities that legitimize their ignoring you. There are only so many hours in a day and only so many matters they can attend to because of the fullness of their lives. If and when they choose to divert their attention from pressing matters, they have to do it within carefully chosen, limited, restricted time segments that allow them to keep intact all of the juggling of the events in their lives. Sometimes people have pets that demand the owner's attention. Sometimes people have elderly or sick family members who represent a significant diminishment of their energy, their time, their resources, and often the ability to tolerate change, like buying something they've got not really sure they really need. Sometimes people want and need to simply turn on the white noise because they don't have the strength, the time, or the patience to deal with a salesman or service provider who's trying to break into this fortress of insane overload. If ever anyone is allowed to pierce that protective blanket covering most people, it has to be done strictly on the time and attention requirements of the consumer, and that's where we come in. We offer the consumer the opportunity to watch your presentation at a time and in a manner that is convenient to him. We keep the webinar short and to the point and thereby respectful of the viewer's time and attention span. We offer the webinars several times throughout the day to give them multiple choices and opportunities to view your presentation. We allow them to interrupt their viewing and to return when circumstances dictate that they might have other more pressing issues at hand. We do not present to them a premeditated inundation of information that comes to them through spammy email, blaring TV commercials, non-stop radio ads, or pop-ups on their computer screens. We get the attention of viewers by conspicuously offering to do things their way. We demonstrate to viewers that although we have a business message to deliver, we want to respect them and the difficulties they might otherwise have when choosing to look at your presentation. Now, we do this not only with the medium of the webinar, but we also do it in the manner in which we present the content. Additionally, we're able to solicit the attention of potential viewers in the marketplace without pounding them inconsiderately with marketing messages. Our purpose, both in finding prospects and delivering content to the prospect, is to create a sense of respect and goodwill. We believe that webinar marketing can deliver the best results for a business by utilizing a softer, gentler pre-approach and a respectful, innovative, unique delivery of marketing content. Webinar marketing is a win-win for both the business and the consumer. Let's summarize a little bit of why you should use webinars to grow your business. Webinars can enable you to have a different relationship with the audience. Webinars can make you the trusted resource for whatever it is you're talking about. Webinars position you as an industry leader. Webinars can create a lasting impression. Webinars showcase your knowledge. Webinars expand your influence in the community. Webinars deepen relationships with customers. Webinars help to elevate your personal or professional brand because you've spoken from such an impressive platform. Webinars can raise you to celebrity status. Webinars can add massive value to your brand, even if the person watching your webinar doesn't buy from you right away. Webinars educate, entertain, and inspire people to take positive action. Webinars cover all learning styles, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. Webinars can create instant urgency to take action because of the fear of loss or scarcity. Webinars can increase engagement by over 300% versus any other forms of promotion. Webinars are a fast track to success for you and your business. Webinars can cause massive spikes in market presence. Webinars are the fastest way online to turn a lead into a sale. And finally, webinars enable you to virtually print money. So, you can see the benefits of utilizing mini or micro webinars to grow your business point unquestionably to the adoption of this marketing strategy. I'm going to give you our telephone number so that you can contact us with any questions. We're going to end the webinar at this point. That phone number is 804-379-8329. You can also see it posted in the upper right-hand corner above where the chat box is. We invite your call during traditional business hours, and if you have other questions, you might want to send them to us by email from this platform. We will make every effort to answer your questions contemporaneously. This means that we will try to answer them right away in real time. So, let me conclude the webinar with thanks for your attendance, thanks for your attention, and thanks for the opportunity to present you with this offer. Best wishes for your success.